Back in the day, all we had was Nintendo Directs. There was no other type of specific Direct, there was no minis or game specifics really, it was just Nintendo Directs. That's all we got, and they came pretty often. I think we got Nintendo Direct every 2 to 3 months, and it always kept the flow of video game information coming in. It always gave us something to look forward to, and on top of that, we also had obviously E3 every year, so there was always something to look forward to, and there was very rarely a dry spell for Nintendo. Well, let's fast forward to 2020. It seemed like Nintendo Directs have completely disappeared off the face of this earth. There's no sign of them, there's no rumors of them, there's no leaks of them, and there's really nothing going on within the Nintendo Direct world. Well, at least not the main Directs, because we are getting Directs, just not the ones we want. As of the last couple of years, Nintendo has started experimenting with other Directs. We now started to get mini Directs, which are little presentations showing off some small amount of games, and also game-specific Directs, which actually shows a lot of new information regarding a special big game coming out very soon, which actually lots of people didn't really have a mind with. You know, we got a mini Direct whenever there wasn't that much news that we needed at the time, and it just gave us a little bit of information here and there, and those game-specific Directs helped out a lot because a game would be about to release, and we wouldn't know too much about it. And instead of trying to make a whole Direct just to talk about that game, instead let's just have a Direct focused on that game so the next Direct isn't washed out with a whole bunch of Mario Odyssey content. You get what I'm saying? So it obviously made sense, and Nintendo had something going on here, and there really wasn't a big problem with these different types of Directs. Well, that is until they started getting abused. Another type of Directs we've been getting are Pokemon Directs, but this year, Pokemon completely changed the name of it. They didn't even want the Direct title underneath, instead changed it to Pokemon Presents, and they had 2 of them in the span of 2 weeks. Yes, and as far as mini Directs go, we've had 2 of them this year, which is very rare because we've only had like 1 a year, it seemed like. It was a very rare occurrence when we had a mini Direct, and we've already just had 2 in the span of just a couple of months. So it's really weird to see what's going on with these Directs, and why Nintendo is shooting out every single Direct but a main one. Now, obviously, E3 didn't happen this year, and E3 presentations are some of the biggest ones we've ever seen, and they're actually kind of mega Directs, if you ask me, and they always pretty much come through with a lot of new games and a lot of new announcements, and these are normally pretty big, and people cannot wait for them. Well, this year, we didn't get an E3 from any company, but everybody decided to make their own video presentations, except for, of course, Nintendo. And Nintendo skipped June, so July shows up, we're all expecting something, and we eventually finally start getting rumors about a Nintendo Direct happening on July 20th, which was a Monday. We're like, this is too crazy, there's no way they'd put a Direct on a Monday. Well, Friday comes, no announcement. Saturday comes, no announcement. Sunday comes, no announcement. It isn't until midnight, Monday morning, that we get an announcement of a Nintendo Direct, and is it the main Direct that we've been waiting for? The leaks and rumors have been leaking this for 2 to 3 weeks that a Direct was coming. It's a Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase. People were completely shocked and out of their mind stunned. Like, I was already kind of upset that he was getting a mini Direct still and not having a main one. But it wasn't even that. It was a mini Direct partner showcase, which was a mini Direct full of third-party games and stuff that isn't even first-party property from Nintendo. And it's just like, oh my gosh, and the games they showed were not even anything of importance besides, of course, SMT. I understand the fans really love Shin Megami Tensei, and they got their brand new game and stuff, and that's awesome. I feel so happy for them that they're getting their game, but yeah, that was about it, which should have just been a SMT Direct in and of itself. But all this other stuff could have easily been slapped onto Twitter, which is another form of way that Nintendo is getting stuff across. So it does make me wonder, what is even important anymore? Because you announce Paper Mario the Origami King, a huge new game, on Twitter, and then they tell us WayForward is working on a series for the first time. They're first in this series, and they're going to make something very special, and that we should tune in and watch it, and we find out that it's Bakugan. So what do we expect from Nintendo in the future? Like, do we even get ready for a Direct? Are Nintendo Directs done? Well, like I said before, we have had word from Nintendo that they wanted to kind of redo Directs and change the way they approach them. But it looks like they're continuing to push them out. I don't know what's going on, because they said that these partner showcase mini Directs will be happening even more throughout the year. Which is like, what? Can you talk about something with a main Direct please? Is a main general Nintendo Direct not a thing anymore? Maybe Directs are saved for, you know, game-specific things and small bits of information, and maybe they're going to call something else its main presentation from now on. Maybe it's going to have a new name. Maybe there's a Mega Direct coming, or a Super Direct. That would be very interesting. But what if they just did presentations again, like they did for 2017's Switch Showcase, which was easily one of my favorite Nintendo events. So if Nintendo would just come out in advance and say, hey, we have a Nintendo presentation coming up in the next couple of weeks or next month or, you know, in September, and just let us know, I think fans would be a lot more calmer if they knew that there's a lot of games about to be announced and dropped at this live event. And it's just unfortunate that Nintendo's not doing anything like this. Now, I understand they can't have a live on-stage presentation anymore because of COVID, but they could simply just have a pre-recorded direct form video. That's what they're known for. That was what Nintendo's always done. They've been doing that at E3 ever since that terrible disaster that they had on stage with Skyward Sword. But besides that, they have clearly changed the game with their visual representation of presentations and the way that they have pre-recorded videos. So it blew my mind that they're the only company that hasn't talked about anything. That and Sega, because Sonic has no clue what it wants to be right now. But it's safe to say for sure that Nintendo Directs are just not the same anymore. They don't feel the same hype they used to give us. They just aren't giving us the amount of love that we used to have. It felt like the developers and everybody really cared as they dressed up as characters and jumped on screen to show us the latest and greatest in Nintendo gaming. And now it's just like we're waiting to see what's even going to happen, if anything happens in 2020. It's a sad time right now to be a Nintendo fan, unfortunately, but we'll have to see if there's any type of Directs and finally going to get a General Direct anytime soon. I'm not going to even make a prediction anymore because every time I do, I get let down because there is a Direct, but it's always something that we did not expect and a Direct that we still do not want. You would think Nintendo would hear our cries, but apparently they're just ignoring them at this point, or they just are wearing headphones. But let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Nintendo Direct is. Why did you like it so much, and why was it so important to you? It could have been a Nintendo presentation, a Direct, an E3, a Mini, whatever you want. Why was it so big to you? And just let me know why. Let's get that love back in the chat. Instead of just hating on everybody, let's get love and talk about what made Direct so great and what was your favorite experience. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.